Are you allowed to share your OCD thoughts and fears with others? Or does it actually do more harm? Let's explore this together. So by the end of this video, you'll know the difference between healthy sharing and compulsively confessing as a way to feel better. Hey, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I'll teach you what to do when you feel this urge that you just need to tell people your thoughts. So let's get to it. So first things first, what is a compulsive confession? Imagine you're feeling this urge to tell people your unwanted thoughts or your feelings or your actions that you did. It's like your brain is screaming, tell them, get it off your chest, see how they react. If they don't react poorly, you must actually be okay. But if they freak out, what you thought and what you did might actually have some value. People with OCD might confess these things that they've done or their thoughts in the hopes to feel better. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's like scratching an itch only to give that temporary relief. Then you gotta do it again. It is a tricky cycle. A lot of people don't even know that by talking about their OCD, they're doing a compulsion, but they don't realize they're doing it. They just know that it makes them feel better. I mean, that person didn't react. They didn't immediately pick up their phone and start calling 911. Their facial expressions weren't of shock. So, great. You're the person I need to tell my thoughts to because you're not freaking out. I must be good. Let's say you have something like relationship OCD and you feel the need to tell your partner every intrusive thought you have. Even if they understand, it can be really hard for them to hear. Or you might find yourself in therapy, wanting to spill every unwanted thought to your therapist, thinking it will help them diagnose you even better. If they just knew this little aspect of myself, maybe the treatment would be different. So you go back to make sure they understood. Or you're confessing to a parent about these scary, taboo thoughts. Their facial expressions are unchanged, so you know, I'm good. But here's why it does not work. Sure, you'll feel better for the moment, but it reinforces to the brain that these thoughts are super important and they need your attention. It's like telling your brain, hey, keep sending those scary thoughts. It's not fun, right? It shows you that you felt better in the moment, so you know what to do next time. Confess, tell your thoughts, clarify your thoughts, but they are temporary fixes. Well, then how do you know when you can talk about your OCD or not? I mean, you gotta talk about it sometime. It all comes down to your intentions. You ask yourself, why am I sharing this right now? What am I hoping to achieve? If I'm sharing because I want support and understanding, that could be healthy. But if I'm only sharing because it's something that's terrible in my brain and I can't feel better until I tell somebody about it, it could be a compulsion. Healthy sharing feels more relaxed. It isn't driven by urgency or fear. You aren't really expecting to get a good response. The purpose is not to relieve anxiety, it's simply just to support you. Keep other people in the loop, help you feel understood. So you may ask yourself before you share, what happens if I don't share this right now? If the answer is nothing, well, cool. Well, maybe I'll share. If the answer is, it will eat me alive until I share it and I can't move past the anxiety until I do and I'm gonna keep thinking about it and I can't wait till 5 o'clock today when I get home and I can tell my parent about this thing. No, we don't need to tell about that. Usually when there's urgency, we're kind of going down the wrong path with those decisions. Quick break before we talk about what we're going to do about the treatment step by step. If you're finding this helpful, I want you to dive deeper. Check out my Master Your OCD online course. I take you step by step how to take control of your OCD, what to do exactly. Videos like this, worksheets, got that in the description below. So back to our topic, compulsive confession. This can be tackled by using exposure and response prevention. Helps you resist the urge to confess, teaches your brain that these thoughts are not dangerous. Actually, you're risking that they are, but you're teaching it that they're not. It is tough. Yeah, but Nate, how do I do it? Well, I'm glad you asked. Did you ask? I can read your mind. Let's get into some practical examples of how you can use ERP to help with this urge of confession. You might delay the confession. When you feel the urge to confess, set a timer for 10 minutes and you wait. During this time, you might remind yourself that, you know what? I'm confident. I'm strong. You can even trick your brain into realizing that you love these feelings. You love the anxiety and distress from it. I wish it stays all day. I'm so glad that I'm not confessing this thought right now. Maybe they'll never know what I'm thinking. Cool, awesome, love it. And then you gradually increase the waiting time. After 10 minutes is up, you reevaluate. How do I feel? Do I still feel this urge? Cool, let's set another 10 minutes. What we're not doing is sitting through that 10 minutes like, I have to confess. Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, 9 minutes, 8 minutes. Okay. No, We're not doing that. We're acting like we don't care. We're taking that power away. What would that look like? We don't want to just sit with it with so much distress. We're actually like, I'm going to enjoy this. It's like I'm in a lazy river. I'm just floating around. Yeah, this is great. Awesome. Confidence. Another option, write down your confessing thoughts. This can also be a compulsion for some, so you got to be careful. But we write down these thoughts, and then we're answering every threat it throws your way with, maybe, cool. And act like I don't care. Awesome. Maybe not. Cool. So I'm actually I'm doing an exposure. I'm exposing myself to these thoughts, but I'm responding to them differently. Sometimes we practice acceptance. I'm just accepting the discomfort that comes from this. It is okay for me to feel anxious and uncertain. I know I can handle this stuff. I'm for sure never going to confess this. I'm keeping it in my brain and I love it. An imaginal exposure. Sometimes we imagine the worst case scenario. If you don't confess, you're going to sit with that distress, that anxiety. You visualize it in detail. Notice how your anxiety peaks and how it fades all on its own. You really just kind of act like you don't care. Laugh at the brain for wanting you to confess. You'll get stronger. If you are stressed about if you should talk about your OCD, or maybe you hold off, you might actually just say, I don't know. I don't know what the right thing is right now, but I'll just wait. I'm going to choose to just wait, see what happens. I bet you I can go most of the time without having to say something. But if you did confess, cool. It's not like, oh, game over, you're never going to get better. You confessed, you did a compulsion. Awesome. What are we going to learn from that moment? That is what's more important. Okay, I could probably have waited 10 minutes. So next time I'm going to make sure I wait 10 minutes. I recognize the feeling that I had. My job's to figure that out so I know I'm not going to do this compulsion in the future. Remember that you're not alone in this. I mean, you aren't. You got other people to help you through this. And that's why we talk about it, but talk about it in a healthy way. So if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Look at my online courses. And I know there's a video here somewhere. You see that video? Click on it. Can I get my fingers right on the video? Let's see. Where would it be? Right there. Click on it. Click on it. It's moving. Oh yeah. It's going to help you with your OCD. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time. Check out my Master Your Own